This week's guest is Crosby Tailor. He's a represented fitness and fashion model. He was a college football star. He's turned into a biohacker, a sugar-free dessert chef. He's also part of the Wildfire Initiative. He has a DVD set of 6 low-impact workout set called the Crosby Tailor 30-Day Transformation. But here's the deal. This is the guy who has tried it all. He's tried it on himself. He's figured out a life that really works. He has a lot of science behind what he does. Enjoy listening to his story. All right, well, welcome to You Elevated. Crosby Tailor, man, it's so good to see you. Now, hang on a second. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, how do you start your day? What time do you get up and what do you do first thing in the morning?
Oh, we're going to start there?
Yes,
How I start
that's
my
the
day?
most important thing.
Well, for some reason, I don't know. I think my circadian rhythm is just on point right now because I go to bed probably 10, 30, 11 o'clock at the latest.
Good.
And so without an alarm clock, I'm up at 6 a.m.
Oh, cool.
That's the latest. Like 5:30, 6, I'm up.
So what do you do then when you get up? I mean, how do you start your day?
Yeah, from like 6 to 9, it's like my working window. I love to get up. I actually begin with I have this hydrogen water system. So I'll pour my hydrogen and I'll mix that. Actually, I'll do a shot of lauricidin, which is, are you familiar with lauricidin?
I don't even know what that is.
Lauricidin is an amazing lauric acid supplement that comes from coconut oil, and it really helps to like balance. And it's like a very antimicrobial, viral, bacterial, fungal that you can take first thing in the morning. Some people are taking it a couple times a day to really like bring down their yeast and candida and all that kind of stuff. But once you've become kind of balanced with it, it's just a great supplement to have on a regular basis that keeps all those loads down. Okay. So all your different types of viral, bacterial, fungal loads that we all have coursing through our body, it keeps that down, and it really helps to keep your immune system nice and strong for the entirety of the day.
So you start with your hydrogen water, you start with some lauric
hydrogen
acid.
water, lauricidin.
Oh, lauricidin, right.
Lauricidin.
Okay.
And then I go into a couple different supplements, and I have a bulletproof coffee. So I'll take some supplements that really help with adrenals and cortisol balance, everything from ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil, or one to all 3 of them, with my bulletproof coffee, which I'll do, if those of you not familiar with the bulletproof coffee, organic coffee, grass-fed butter, MCT oil or brain octane oil, and then I throw a tablespoon of collagen in there because it's kind of like, I still feel very fasted because it's a liquid drink, but I don't eat anything before the gym, and I like to train in the morning, so I like to have a little bit of protein in my body before I go, before I have a couple more supplements, and then I'll do like a pre-workout drink that I've kind of created myself. Everything from branched chain amino acids to electrolytes and different mineral supplements that I'm putting in there. Cordyceps, lion's mane, some of those Chinese herbs to really help get my endurance going and mental focus going.
Well, let me dial back for just a second with you. So your mental focus, do you do anything kind of to set your mind in the morning when you first get up? Do you to kind of get your day?
Not what you ingest, Crosby.
Right. Well, no, because what you ingest.
Do you meditate? Do you?
But do you? Yeah. I mean, because I know that you're part of another group called the Wildfire Initiative.
The Wildfire Initiative, yeah. And
so you're into breathing and meditating and that. Do you do that as part of when you first wake up, or is that later in the day for you?
It depends. It depends on how busy my schedule is that day. If I have a lot of time to kill in the morning, I will do some different modalities, everything from the breath work to I'll do, I like to go into I have a spare bedroom where I have like kind of all my other little healing kind of things going on in there, and I have a Juve machine. Have you heard of the Juve?
What is a Juve
Juve
machine?
Is
Crosby.
Juve is.
I mean, that sounds like something kind of fun, like you're partying. Or
yeah, the Juve is red light therapy.
Okay.
So basically, cell food per se. Like it's the red light therapy is penetrating right into the cell and activating ATP in the mitochondria to work better everywhere. And I actually heard about it through a guy that was taking it and that told me that he was like, yeah, this 60-year-old man had like 300 testosterone and went to like 1,200 after using this for like 6 months. I was like, I'm in. Wow. I mean, I'm not going to, every man could use a boost in testosterone. I'm 33 now. It's starting to decline. I'm like, let's do this. So I'll do something like that. But yeah, I'm still doing, every once in a while, I'll get into like a 10-minute meditation, or I'll do some breath work in the morning. On Sundays, we always do breath work out at Runyon Canyon. The Wildfire Initiative does, and we actually have a really cool event coming up on August 16th with Aloe Yoga. We're at the Grove doing at 4:00 doing like a breathwork and meditation workshop through Aloe. So I'm still doing some of those things in the morning, but I really keyed in and focused on those things to more so help me through certain times. And now I feel great when I wake up in the morning, Ethan. I don't feel like, I mean, I guess I should keep it going and do some of these things, but I'm not going to lie and tell you that I meditate every morning. I don't. Right. But like, do I feel very much more present now in my life than I ever have felt? And is that meditation in itself? I think so.
So how, if we go back though, so the high school football player in the Sacramento area, if I recall correctly, how did you get to this place though? What led you down this path? Because I promise you in high school, you were not doing all these things, and meditating and breathing.
No, I was such a jock. My neck, I actually posted a picture on Instagram story the other day of me at a picture of us for the high school all-star game for football. My neck was like this big, and I was like, wow. And I had this very stern look on my face, like just a different human being. I look back and I'm going, wow, I really don't remember how I was mentally then. I remember like I was very focused on sports. All I wanted to do was work out and train, and I ate whatever I wanted. I didn't think about what I was putting in my body. I didn't even know what gluten was, nor did I care how much sugar I was getting on a regular basis. It was all about calories in and training. So had nothing to do with meditation at the time. Definitely had a temper, like any 18-year-old kid would.
Full of testosterone.
And at the time, yeah, like I'm saying, that's all I cared about was just playing sports. So completely different mentality. You don't think about the longevity of sorts. You don't think about what's attacking your body, inflammation, all these different things. You're just like, how much can I squat today? How much can I bench today? How far can I throw the ball today? And yeah, that was it. I mean,
did you have an injury, or what was kind of the catalyst when you decided to start paying attention to what you were putting into your body?
So I got a scholarship to play football at Sac State, and in my junior year of college, when I finally started to get some more PT, I really suffered I popped my hamstring, tore the hamstring in practice, and instead of being out for a certain amount of time, it was that mentality back in the day where it's like, just keep it going, wrap it up, like go to the training room. Get back in there. You have to practice. And they make you feel like you're not even part of the team if you're not on the field. So like if I had sat out, I think I probably sat out like 3 days after that. And I was already back on the field. I would get wrapped, go out there, hobble around. And I think my body started to overcompensate in other areas, pulling from different other muscle areas to like try to overcompensate for what was going on in my hamstring. And so it just started traveling. The pain would travel up and down my body. It started kind of more in my lower back, and then it moved into like the middle of my back and to the side. And eventually, I think it was in a game, I made a certain move and I turned on it a certain way, and I could just feel the whole area of my psoas muscle and
Wait, stop for just a second. I know I hate to interrupt on that. People don't know what the psoas is. What is the psoas?
I didn't know what the psoas was either.
I didn't either until about a year ago.
But apparently, it's a very important muscle that we use every day to walk, to bring our knee up, to everything. And it connects like hip and glute and abdomen and growing. All of it is kind of controlled by this middle kind of psoas muscle. It's a big muscle. And it's also very connected to your central nervous system. And I've even heard it be called the fight or flight muscle, because back in the day, and somebody actually told me this, so I don't know if it's correct, but it sounds good. Back in the day, when we would have to run from an animal in the wild, that was the first muscle that kicked into gear because of that fight or flight cortisol that would set in, like, oh my God, like I'm in fear for my life. And that muscle would kick into gear, and that's what bring that fast twitch up for you to throw your hand and your knee up and get that drive. And that's the sprinting mechanism.
From an evolutionary standpoint,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
it's kind of cool to think about it that way. And so even now, and the stress isn't that anymore. We're not walking around LA and then all of a sudden, like, a tiger's chasing us.
Could be.
Yeah, very unlikely.
We have different things,
but
yeah.
we're more so pissed off in traffic, right. Or we get a text that we don't like to see, or whatever it is that's sending that fight or flight response through our body. That's what can actually kick in that muscle again. And so what I was feeling after I had injured it, because what happens is once you have a trauma in a certain area, that's your weak spot. Once it's been like tarnished in some kind of way, any kind of stress that comes in is going to go there first. And so whenever I would have a stressful, situation, or in my case, when it would flare up, would be like a perfect storm. Everything from like going too hard during a workout and then feeling stressed from something and not having enough sleep the night before. And it would just zap right there. And I swear to God, it would be something that would hurt for a second. I'd feel this pinch. It would even like, if I had pulled my shirt up, I could see the muscles pulling all the way to one side because there was such a nervous system response that it like jerked, almost like sciatic, kind of like nerve jerk the muscles to one side. And I'd have to wait for them to come back to like normal ab form.
This was your catalyst. This was when you decided.
Yeah, it would like blow up and I'd have this huge just like raise of inflammation on one side. And I was like, nah. How am I I can't do this. And that's what made me start working out very low impact. And I really got into understanding inflammation, and that being the cornerstone of what I was dealing with was I probably had tons and tons and tons of free radicals that I wasn't getting down on a daily basis. And they were just piling up, and it was just making me feel worse and worse and worse. And so I thought, okay, I need to rest. I need to do something workout-wise that's not as intense. I need to eat differently. That's not going to create inflammation when I eat food. And so I started to do more and more and more research, and I just started to find different things like, turmeric. I started taking things like turmeric, and DLPA was something that really helped at one point, which is an amino acid that helps with pain. It's like a cell signaling amino acid that really helps kind of relieve pain. So I was doing stuff like that. And I even made a low impact workout DVD with a production company in London. They found me on Instagram and were like, we love what you stand for. This is so cool. Can we want to do a workout video with us? And I was like, workout video? What am I, Jane Fonda? Like, this is
a little bit.
I'm like
nothing
modern
wrong
day
with Jane Fonda, right? It's,
nothing wrong. I mean, she killed it.
Right, she did. So you flew to London and made a DVD series?
I flew to London, but it was like legit. It wasn't me flying to London and they had some like crappy studio and this and this and this and put me in a weird hotel. Like, I was taken care of. Like, these people took care of me. It was so cool. I was like, well, maybe this actually will do well. And it's now an Amazon Choice bestseller.
Cool. What's it called?
It's just Crosby Tailor's 30-day transformation, low impact 30-day transformation.
But that's the key. So low impact. Mm-hmm. So instead of these huge, you're not doing monster weights and you're not squatting 500 pounds.
I can't tell you the last time I squatted heavy. I just can't. I mean, yeah, that actual movement, the squat movement, would directly affect that would be like send a signal right to my pain, because it's everything. The compound movements were the tough ones. So everything from squatting to cleaning to clean and press, like any of those more CrossFit type workouts would really affect me. So everything that I did became more isolated training through, 2 muscle groups a day. I didn't do a lot of core work. I actually have let my core rest for a long time, probably 2 or 3 years.
Wait. What? So you are one of the most ripped people I've ever seen. And I mean, everybody can see your pictures, right? You don't do like serious core workouts?
I didn't do a serious core workout for like almost 3 years.
So
no
how are
abs,
you? So I don't
no like
so,
oblique, no planks, nothing. Like I just, because of being in the modeling world still and doing commercials and all that kind of stuff and having to look a certain way, I just had to figure it out. I had to figure out, okay, how do I not have pain? How do I not go through these? Because they would be like 3-week flare-ups. Like I wouldn't be able to do anything. And at the time, it would look very odd. I just have this like puff side that I couldn't even flex. It would hurt when I would flex. So I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't do a shirtless shoot at the time. That would look ridiculous. So I had to figure it out. And I did everything from change my diet up very extremely. I went pretty keto for a while. I took out all grains. I took out all nuts and seeds. I still don't eat any nuts and seeds. That's one food that I was eating a lot of that was creating a lot of inflammation for me personally. I don't know if it was my body not breaking it down very well or if we just don't break down nuts very well. So I always tell people when they ask me, well, should I eat nuts and seeds? And I'm like, well, maybe a handful at a time if they do well with you and they're sprouted or whatever. But don't eat a half a jar of almond butter at 10 p.m., which is what most people do. They love almond butter and they eat, or like they go get peanut butter from Trader Joe's and they eat this for like a half hour. Like that can't be good for you.
But you're also known for these pretty amazing desserts.
Right.
And when did
Mostly nut free.
Mostly nut free, but also sugar free. When did you figure out to kick the sugar? Because at least for me, that was like step one for the radical transformation in how my body felt was first getting rid of sugar. When did you kind of figure that out?
Learn or figure it out or learn how to? Well,
both. Because you have to say, well, I'm going to try this. And then how did you get yourself? Because we're addicted to it. Our gut bacteria is set up to make it hard to quit.
Yeah.
Once you're on sugar, which in our society,
those critters love the sugar.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So when did you figure that out, and what did you do to make that change? Because not everybody is rich roll where they just in one day you're this and the next day you're that. Often there's a transition period.
Yeah. I did a metabolic test a while back. Maybe it was like 6-7 years ago. That I can't remember who I did it through, but a friend of mine that I've been working out with suggested it. And one of the things that came back that it was that I didn't process sugar very well. My body wasn't utilizing it. I wasn't becoming insulin resistant per se, but they could tell from my glucose levels and everything that the reason why I was storing some fat in my body was because of my sugar consumption and how my body wasn't breaking it down and using it for energy. So I said, all right, well, what does that mean? Like I can't eat fruit. I can't eat, every once in a while I can't have a cookie or whatever it is. And he was like, oh no, like just try to pull back on it. But I'm not that type of guy. Like once I hear something that's harming me, I'm like, no bueno, like let's just take it out. So I took out all refined sugars was the beginning, and I was still having like honey, coconut nectar, and those kinds of things. And eventually, when I started to learn through, I think Bulletproof, Dave Asprey and Bulletproof was like my first introduction to, you can also get energy from fat, like use these things, and then you can get off sugar at all and not really have it at all, and power your brain through fats and this and this and this. And it's so metabolic, and it's going to help your body burn fat that's stored already. So, well, that kind of sounds right. That sounds like a scientific way of looking at it, and it made a lot of sense to me. So I started doing that, and that's when I really took sugar out completely for a while. And I even went through a cleansing period where I wasn't eating pretty much any fruit except for blueberries.
They're very low glycemic.
Very low glycemic.
And one thing I want to point out, though, so I've been able to monitor and measure. I'm not wearing it today. I've been wearing a continuous glucose monitor, too.
Oh, wow.
And frozen fruit, this is to spread amongst our friends, is not the same as fresh fruit. Fresh fruit, like blueberries, super low glycemic load, meaning has a low impact on your body, doesn't need to produce as much insulin to deal with it. Fresh fruit, my experience is anywhere from 50 to 100% lower glycemic, or the inverse is if you're eating frozen fruit, don't. Get fresh fruit and add ice cubes.
Interesting.
Yes, because the frozen stuff like concentrates the sugar.
Sure.
It's really interesting. But blueberries, people are always like, well, how can you eat fruit if you want to avoid sugar? Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries,
berry
blackberries.
family.
Yeah, they're great. They're great, and they're super high in antioxidants.
High antioxidants.
Yeah.
And shout out to Max Lugavere, one of my good friends, big blueberry fan.
And we'll try and book him here one of these days as well.
It's a genius food. So I actually have more of it now in my diet because of that guy. But I was having blueberries every once in a while. It wasn't a big thing. But at the time, I was dating a girl that also was not eating sugar. And you can imagine there were times when we were both kind of would get pretty miserable if we didn't have anything sweet for like 2 weeks. And I was like, I got to figure something out. So I started concocting different things, creating different recipes, seeing if I could make a dessert sugar-free through some of the things that I had learned, bulletproof-wise. And Erewhon, they were kind of big at the tonic bar making some of these sugar-free treats too. So I utilized all these things to try to figure it out. And I think I just got lucky, Ethan. I got lucky. I figured out the perfect mesh of ingredients at the time that really worked, really made a delicious cookie. And I kind of branched off from that and started making different ones. And I've gotten to a point now where there's probably like 4 or 5 that I really, really love that I want to take to market after it's been like 4 years of making these things and not having anything tangible to show for. Recipes that have been on my Instagram and on my website.
But you've been a huge inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you.
No, I mean that. So based on what you had done, and you have a talent on the artistic side too, so they're beautiful. You don't just make them taste good. They look amazing. They're these beautiful works of art that you make. And same thing for me, where I needed to figure out how to make these. I started making my stuff based on what you did, and then just come up with my own versions and totally different variations. But so
your stuff looks good too.
Not like yours.
There's been a couple times I think I've messaged you on Instagram. I'm like, all right, we need to hang out. That looks really good. Just bring me over for family time.
But you were a real big inspiration, a big influence on me. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on the show. Is you've been a major influence on me and how I eat, and your desserts led me down this path where I'm making all kinds of crazy stuff now. That's fun, but that's the inspiration. You got to start, and you did, and you had a reason to do it. And you make these beautiful things. But didn't I hear a rumor that you're coming out with like maybe a mix?
Yeah, there's a rumor circulating.
Okay.
Maybe I'm the one spreading it on Instagram.
I can neither.
People are like, oh man, I post something on Instagram saying, baking mix coming soon or whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's the day I have to go to work. Because I'll literally have like 300 DMs that day. When is it happening?
Right.
And I'm like, oh wow, I really need to make
so wait,
this happen.
you haven't signed a deal with somebody yet on that?
No, there's a deal happening.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, good, because
I wouldn't really call it a deal as much as like the partnership that I've already formed is we're gonna do it through them.
Okay.
And
because this is important, because here's the deal. For most of us, we're busy, we have kids, right? We work 2-3 jobs. So when you say, oh, I make these great recipes and we look at your beautiful cookies and bars and everything else that you do, I don't have time to do that. So if you have a mix where I just throw it in, or better yet, when I can go buy the Crosby Tailor cookies at the store, that kind of stuff, that's a difference, because you're talking next level to take the time out of the day to go make all this stuff. And some of us do that, but not everybody can. So to be able to buy the mix, that's important.
Yeah, the mix makes it so easy. And I really want it to be so user-friendly that you can get, 2 or 3 mixes a month, or put on a subscription with the mix, or all the ones that I'm going to come out with. Probably going to start with just one and launch in October. We're hoping October. And then start moving from there. But yes, say that the first mix is a snickerdoodle mix. Say it might be a snickerdoodle
Which, by the way, we see those pictures often on your Instagram.
Yeah. People are going crazy over the snickerdoodles, and I have a lot of amazing friends that have
noticed
tried.
You didn't bring any into the
I didn't bring
today.
any today. I know.
Okay. All right, Crosby.
I know.
Next time.
I don't know if we're going to talk about the desserts that much. But,
no, I know.
But yeah, let's just say they're the great little mix. You have to add like 2 or 3 more wet ingredients, and then
pop it in the oven.
8 minutes. It's in the oven for 8 minutes.
That's awesome.
Prep time for a batch of cookies, you're probably going to get 32 cookies, is total under 20 minutes.
So, and what's so key about your desserts,
full time.
and we'll get to some of the supplements in here in a second. The key about your desserts are it's no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's an amazing sugar substitute. I think, are you still an ambassador?
I'm not, actually. I'm not.
Got it. That's why I didn't finish saying the name, just in case.
No, they're a great company. They're
are
doing so well. But I'm in talks with the people with my company, which we can talk about, that we will have our own sweetener.
When is this coming?
When the desserts come.
Okay, great. So what are you using as the basis of it? So it's
very
really
similar, very similar.
Okay.
I actually like the blend of monk fruit extract and erythritol.
Okay, because I'm huge. I'm a huge fan of it.
It really works with my system.
Me too.
The erythritol as a sugar alcohol is the best in terms of getting in and out of your body. I think that xylitol for me upsets my stomach.
You know why that is, right? So xylitol is a large molecule sugar alcohol, and therefore, because of the size of the molecule, it passes all the way through your entire digestive tract, and therefore, in like the colon, it can cause distress because your body doesn't quite know what to do with it.
Right.
And whereas the erythritol is a small molecule, so in the small intestine, it gets brought up into the bloodstream, it passes through the barrier, and you just urinate. 90% of erythritol is just urinated out.
Right.
So it doesn't cause us the distress. I have the same, we must have a similar digestive tract.
Yeah. And when it comes, so you could almost say that the xylitol probably causes a little bit more of a spike too, right?
It can impact blood sugar levels much more than erythritol does. Yep.
Has your daughter used both of them? And
yes. And it's clearly observable. That's why I'm wearing a continuous glucose monitor now too, in solidarity with her. But also, I've learned a lot about my body. So one of the things that you might find interesting, because you don't like to eat at all before, and you do some really intense workouts. I know about your workouts. Mm-hmm. I do some pretty intense workouts too. And what I never knew is when I played football I played baseball, basketball, football, right? And whenever I would have those intense days of workouts, I didn't play at the college level, I would be exhausted for 2 or 3 hours after playing a really long basketball game, whatever. What I have learned wearing a continuous glucose monitor is because I go hypo. Oh. My body, even as a teenager, and it explains it, when I if I have a keto dinner, and I do the intermittent fast, and then I go work out without having put a single glucose, whatever source carb in my body, I go hypo, like 40, 41, 42. That's like dangerous hypo. And so what I've done is if I'm going to do a super intense workout now, like I love to do some running and stuff, some really intense runs up mountains and whatnot.
Okay.
Or a really heavy lifting regimen. I'll put like a 1/4 cup of A2 whole milk in my coffee. So there's 8 grams of carbs in it or whatever. And then I don't go hypo when I work out.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's it. And then and by the way, my workout is so much better.
Yeah.
Now I can climb the mountain 3 or 4 times instead of only twice.
That's great.
But those are those types of things that we have to learn, we have to feel. So in your case, and I think this is such an important point, and I want to drill this home because you're making it without saying this exact statement, we have to listen to our body and what it is telling us. Your body was telling you that you were inflamed and what you were doing was harming it. And you listened, you paid attention, you followed through, you found ways to adjust what you were doing between exercise and what you were ingesting to make your body, you have like this, what a lot of people would consider a perfect physique. That's why you're a model. You have this incredible body, but you had to listen to be able to do that.
Yeah. It was tough. Yeah. Very frustrating too, because you want to just go for it too. You want to have because
you're a guy.
You want to get out there with your buddies and have an intense workout and do sprints on a football field somewhere, or go hiking and not have to be the last one walking up, being like, oh, don't wait for me, guys. So I kind of like secluded myself from a lot of things and became a little bit more isolated with my workouts and did them at home, or I'd go to the gym and do my own thing. But everything was very concentrated, very controlled, very present, movements to really work that muscle out without causing this like spike the whole time. Because when we're doing these crazy high intensity workouts, if you are someone that already has naturally high cortisol levels, those things are going through the roof. You go to a Barry's boot camp, you go to one of these things, and you're training for balls out for an hour. Like at some point, your system's going to be like a little stressed, going, "What's happening? What is this?" So, and that survival mode will kick in. So I was doing exactly the opposite. I was really just deep breathing. That's when the breathing really helped. All the wildfire breath really helped. And then when I would train, I still would lift like decently heavy. I wouldn't lift my legs heavy, but my upper body I was still trying to put on size. And I'd be able to lift heavy, but it'd be so controlled. Yeah. So controlled. The down and up would be like I would count sometimes the seconds. And that really helped keep my nervous system balanced during the time I was training too. And that was all before I started to find certain things that really, really reduced free radicals, that really brought down my inflammation and stress.
Let's talk about free radicals, inflammation and stress, because I know that you're really into something right now that I want to learn a little bit more about.
Sure.
Because I started seeing you posting about it, and I was like, what is this?
What is that?
I was really, really skeptical.
What's this new super pill you're taking?
That's right.
You were like,
because you're already like so healthy, so fit. I'm like, how can Crosby possibly be talking about this new super pill? Tell me about it.
So, are you familiar with molecular hydrogen at all?
I am now, but tell me a little bit about it.
You are now a little bit more. Okay. So, molecular hydrogen is actually a gas. It's created through a molecular kind of science experiment per se with H2O and a magnesium-based tablet, or through water systems that are creating the hydrogen in the system.
It's extra hydrogen molecules.
It's H2.
Right.
So it's hydrogen squared, which what happens is when the gas is being created, there's only a certain time for you to actually get that gas.
Right. It immediately wants to bond with other atoms to form compounds.
Right. So you have to it's kind of one of those things that when you take the tablets, as soon as they completely dissolve, you want to start getting that gas and drinking it down. And then when it comes to like the systems, and there are, my company, but also other companies that are making the water bottles that, whether it's in aluminum or certain pouches that are being able to hold the hydrogen for a certain amount of time in like a can. They're showing not super high concentrations or ppms of hydrogen and those kind of things as opposed to the tablets, but still having some there.
What does it do for you?
So molecular hydrogen is a very, very tiny particle. It's a nanoparticle that drives right into the cell, gets into the cell, and it reduces oxidative stress and free radicals at the cellular level.
And it does that because H2 is looking for another atom to bond to, and free radicals that you're talking about are oxygen sitting in your bloodstream and in your cells. And so that H2 wants to bond with the oxygen.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
And specifically, H2 targets the most damaging free radical called the hydroxyl radical. So what happens is that's what's causing most of the damage in the cell, is that hydroxyl radical. So H2 goes right at it, immediately targets it, neutralizes it, and on that neutralization, it actually creates a water molecule. So most antioxidants, when they attack free radicals, say you're taking turmeric or tart cherry or some of these high antioxidant chaga, when they attack free radicals, usually there's a little bit of toxic residue that happens afterwards. The amazing thing about hydrogen, and why I think it's going to be what everybody should be taking at some point, is because when it neutralizes that free radical, it turns into a water molecule and will hydrate you on a cellular level too. So you're getting 2 for 1.
So you brought some in.
I brought some for you to try.
Show me this now. Show me.
So, because we're on camera.
You're on camera.
This is trussi H2.
Okay. This is the company you're partnering with.
Yes. These are super, super high concentration ppm tablets, parts per million. And I like to do about 3 tablets in about 4 to 6 ounces of water.
Okay.
So
You got a couple cups there
I got
for
a couple
us.
cups for us.
Okay. And some vodka.
You're not going to be able to see. I mean, I guess I'll be able to tilt it a little bit. Yeah, and some vodka.
That looks like a vodka bottle in a Crosby. Come on, man.
This is really good water. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Okay.
There's no partnership happening here yet, but it's good water. Spring water. I'm not an alkaline water drinker.
So while you're pouring that, what do you think of alcohol?
What do I think of alcohol?
Yeah. Since we're saying that that's not vodka. Do you drink vodka?
As I was about to put this back on here. I don't. I don't drink alcohol.
You don't drink any alcohol?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Too damaging to the body.
It's really the only thing that I've noticed that puts me out for a couple days.
Okay.
Like me personally, if I drink, and now I'm, my tolerance level, I'll have like half a beer and I can start feeling it.
Yeah.
Or like one shot of tequila. And I'm like, that's it. That's all I need.
Yep.
So that's cool. I mean, if I did ever have a drink.
Just was curious while we were doing that.
But yeah, not a huge fan. I mean, it's just a lot of talk about free radical damage. All right.
It is. It's a poison. I've heard.
Yeah. So, dropping these tablets in for me and Ethan, and you guys can't really see it, but I'll try to show you.
Tilt one up and then hand me one and all.
Let's see if we can tilt one up.
Here, pass me one and all.
Are you gonna be able to do it?
So you put one tablet. How many tablets in? Let's see what it can do here. Can you see that at all?
We're
if you can
trying
see
to
it.
get
All right.
a little bit.
A little bit.
All right.
Okay. So whoa, it's kind of a
So you see
charcoaly looking.
Yeah, you see the gas. Don't drink it yet.
Okay.
You see the gas kind of forming, right?
Yep.
It's bubbling up.
I can hear it too.
Yeah. That's the gas.
Okay.
So the charcoaly top.
Oh, it has an interesting little smell to it too.
Yeah, it's got a smell.
Yeah.
You can put lemon in it to make it taste a little bit better, but I
Okay.
don't think it tastes bad.
I still can't drink it yet though.
No, because
How long do you have to wait?
if we had clear glasses,
Yeah.
we'd actually be able to see them.
Don't use plastic as much as possible. So
Yeah,
you know.
glass.
Yeah.
If we had clear glasses, we'd be able to see, but kind of want to just wait until, it's usually about 45 seconds, but you want to wait until you can see all three tablets float to the top.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're going
I see 3 on the top.
You do?
Yeah.
You see them?
Yeah.
Why don't I see them yet?
I don't know. Don't I see
I feel
that?
like I dropped them all at the same time.
Oops.
Don't drop it. Don't
Try not to spill.
Don't
right.
pour it all over.
Okay, so this is supposed. So you do this.
So this is the gas
And this
forming.
is supposed to give you a little boost, a little energy. It helps with the free radicals.
So it's gonna give. Yes. So it's gonna give. Hold on. I think we're almost ready.
Okay.
Before I start explaining it, but I want to get my dose.
Okay.
All right. Start drinking it slowly, and if you
Slowly.
start to see the tablets, just wait for them to completely dissolve.
Huh. I mean, it's very mild.
Yeah, I didn't have any tablets. It's perfect.
I mean, it's like drinking water with just a slight taste to it. That's
Just a slight taste.
yeah.
And even the gas really doesn't affect you. It's not like you feel like you're about to burp or anything, does it?
No.
So, as you burp.
Right.
Right, okay, never mind.
So there I did, but that's because of the bubbles.
You did. Yeah. So,
No, I'm not going to burp again. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, good. Phew. I was like, wait, no. All right, never mind.
I was like, what is he saying? Are we off? Is the show over? Are we off the air? So, what's happening right now is those nanoparticles are actually traveling into your system and through all the areas of the cell. And the cool thing is it has a very unique targeting to where your inflammation lies most first.
So I have to invite you back then so we can do a follow-up because, yeah, I mean, I've gone
Yeah,
on
because
the
I got a bottle
low
for you, so
lectin-
we got to get you.
I do the Gundry low lectin, which has really helped because I have reconstructed shoulders, bad back, all these things. And that's made the no sugar and the low lectins have made a huge difference, but that doesn't mean I have no pain ever.
And it's not just pain we're talking about. We're talking about inflammation that is on a chronic level or on a cellular level. So if you have digestive distress, that's a type of inflammation.
Right.
So this is going to help target the areas that your digestive system needs to really help rehabilitate and reduce inflammation and those free radicals so that your digestion can change. Same with brain fog. People that experience massive brain fog, that's inflammation in the brain. So what we're going to do is take hydrogen. it's going to target those brain cells. It's going to neutralize the free radicals, turn them into water molecules, and it's going to help increase mental clarity, sharpness, focus, alertness, all of that as well.
I had a question follow-up. I talked to some other people who have been trying this now, and one of the things that they said is it feels maybe like their body uses the water more efficiently, like they don't have to go to the bathroom as much, maybe? Is that something that you've experienced or understand?
Sure, because if we're drinking normal water, tap water, or like bottled water on a regular basis, we're peeing most of that out. It's not like super hydrating us on a cellular level. But once you get hydrated on a cellular level, your body actually doesn't need as much water. You don't have to take gallons of water in a day. We're only doing that because we feel so dehydrated, because we're not actually absorbing the water.
That makes sense.
Now you're absorbing the water by taking a couple rounds of hydrogen a day, or even better yet, having a hydrogen system in your house and drinking the hydrogen water all day long.
I'm going to put the link for you for this product in on the show sheet and everything, so you all will be able to see how to click this and pick up whether it's the tablets or the system or whatever that Crosby and Trussi are partnering on together here.
It's just crazy how many things we're helping.
I love it. I love your story. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said you're an inspiration. You're one of the nicest guys I've met. I appreciate that about you, that you're not just, a lot of people in the health and fitness area, especially a model type, you can be very, about themselves, but you are free in sharing information and helping other people. And I think that's really critical, and that goodness comes out. And that's one of the things that always attracted me to what you're doing. And I love that you came by. We'll put the links and everything. We're going to follow up with you though, too. I'm going to try this out. We're going to follow up. We're going to have Crosby back. But by the way, send us your questions and follow Crosby as well. And let me know what your favorite part of this interview is. I'm always curious to know what your favorite parts are. And I'm going to let Crosby know what that is so we can follow up in our next interview as well. So awesome. Crosby, man, thanks so much for coming by today.
Thank you so much for having me, Ethan. It's been great.
Appreciate it. Would you be willing to do us a favor? Please subscribe to the channel and share the episode with your friends and family.